Hi, everybody. Thanks for being with me this week and today on the final day of the week as we look about changing our mind about some different things about God, about spirituality, about the Bible, that type of thing. And today we're going to talk about, or I'm going to encourage you to consider changing your mind about the cross. Now, of course, you don't need to change your mind if you have the true understanding of what happened there. But if you don't, and most of us, I'm coming to find out, didn't, then we need to relook at that. What happened on the cross? Well, we know that Jesus came, God, fully man, fully God at the same time, came, lived for 33 years, did his public ministry for about 3 years, and at the end of that time, he was taken, beaten, whipped, scourged, mocked, all of those things. He was unjustly tried and unfairly condemned to be crucified, the worst, most heinous death that man had ever described, where literally after you'd almost been beaten to death, you were nailed to a cross and there left to asphyxiate because you, after a certain period of time, you no longer had enough strength to push yourself up to breathe and to bring air in. Now, what happened at the cross? First of all, who killed Jesus? Scripture's about as clear in that as you can possibly get. People did. We did. The church did. The Jewish religion, Jewish people, they condemned him to death. The secular government did. The Romans did. The pagans did. People, anybody and everybody shouted, "Crucify him, crucify him." People killed Jesus. And somehow or another in God's economy, he included all of us in that. Even though that happened 2 years ago and we weren't there, we've been included in the mass of mankind totally together that was responsible for and did kill Jesus. We killed Jesus because we wanted, and I'm saying we, I'm talking about the people who were there at the time, and we would have been right along with them. We wanted a God who was different than Jesus said God was. The Jewish people wanted a God. They had created a God in their own mind. They wanted a God who you could get right with by your own good works and therefore pat yourself on the back, and who then would bless you because of the good things you've done, and who would condemn and kill and torture and take out his vengeance and his fury and his wrath on those people who were against you. Jesus came along and said, "That's not my Father. He loves everybody. He includes everybody. He forgives everybody. He doesn't take out vengeance on people. You got it all wrong." Well, they didn't like that. And so they killed him. They killed him. Now, while he was there, he supernaturally took all the sin of everybody, all the sin of the world upon him, forgave us, took it away from us. We died with him. We were buried with him, and we rose with him to new life. That happened 2,000 years ago. To everyone. God included all of mankind, everybody in that. That's what happened at the cross. The cross was mankind's torture instrument to kill God himself because we didn't like the kind of God he was. We wanted a different kind of God. That's actually what happened at the cross. Jesus poured out his blood, gave his life, gave his body to forgive us. He let us do all that to him. He submitted to us and literally let us do the worst of the worst of the worst to him to prove to us, okay, you've done the worst you can possibly do. I still love you. I still include you. I still accept you. I still forgive you. That's called grace. Now, unfortunately, many people have believed the lie that people put Jesus on the cross, but God the Father was separate from Jesus, up in heaven, with his back turned on Jesus because he couldn't stand to look at sin, and even with his back turned was supernaturally pouring out his wrath on Jesus and killing his only begotten pure son who was innocent, killing him, torturing him, and then killing him because in God's economy, the scales of justice had to be righted and God was forced to do that. That, I believe, is the worst lie of all the lies possible about God. First of all, we believe in the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, who have always been one, always will be one, have never been separated, never will be separated. God the Father was in Jesus at the cross. 2 Corinthians 5 tells us. He was not separate from Jesus. He never turned his back on Jesus. He never punish Jesus. There were never any scales of justice that had to be weighed. Those are man-made concepts. That's not what the first church believed. The first church didn't believe that. First church didn't teach that. That didn't come along till a few hundred years later, and particularly from Augustine, a guy named Anselm in Greece, and then John Calvin, who was a lawyer, came up with lawyer's version of justice and came up with that heinous doctrine of substitutionary penal atonement. It's false. It demeans, diminishes, distorts the character of our Father, who is pure love, who is one with Jesus and the Holy Spirit, who would never even do anything like that. So please change your mind if you've believed those lies about the cross and believe the truth that Jesus voluntarily let us kill him, and he turned that into good for all of us. Hope that's helpful. Thanks for being with me this week. I'd love to get together with you. You can contact me at convertibleconversations@gmail.com or send me a personal message on Facebook, or if we already know each other, give me a shout. Let's get together. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.